Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Test 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Horsburgh Gymnasium here at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio, and we're here hosting this matchup between the Allegheny Gators and the Defiance Yellow Jackets, two teams coming over this weekend. We had an earlier match where Case Western Reserve was victorious 3-0 in their own home stadium. And it'll be an interesting matchup today because Defiance is still looking for their first win of the season. They come in 0-4 in the second season for head coach Nick Umdenstock. They were 4-19 a year ago and 1-6 in neutral site games. So again, trying to right the ship, a season that hasn't started off too hot in their eyes. On the other side, Allegheny has started off 3-3, an up and down season. They had a win, 2 losses, then 2 wins, and are coming off a loss in their most recent matchup at Grove City. And the first serve is going to go out of play. So Defiance will be on the board first, and they're going to be labeled as the visitors for this matchup. Allegheny, the home team. A couple key players to watch. We'll start with Defiance. Leading the attack in kills, number 2, Jamia Murray. As the serve comes in from Veronica Vasquez. That's Murray who gets her hands on that ball. She'll go for another kill here. Nearly dug out that time. Diving was JC Diaz, but is unable to get to it. And JC Diaz is a key player to watch on the defensive end for Allegheny because she leads this team in digs so far on the season. 96 of them. That's just over 4 digs per set for her. So Vasquez keeps her serve. That's a nice block that time, but we'll get a stoppage. It looked like Allegheny wasn't able to get the ball back up and over. Sydney Kirk up front for them, along with Carly Beers. We mentioned Jamia Murray and her kill numbers. She's got 38 on the season entering this matchup here today. This one just tipped over. So it's a 4-0 start for Defiance. This one blocked once again. It'll go out of play, however. So Allegheny will finally get themselves on the board. And that was once again Jamia Murray on the defensive end involved for the Yellow Jackets. Gators on the other side. It's Daru Akbash with the serve. She's a first-year player from Ankara, Turkey. Second on this team in digs. She's got 44 on the year. That's 2% for her. Her serve goes up and over. And a whistle will stop things. A double touch called on that Defiance side. Again, here's Kendra Klein, who will set it for Murray. Klein is second on this Defiance team in assists, and that's a nice kill that time. The leader for this team, Angeli Bowick, number 8. She's a first-year outside hitter from Goodyear, Arizona, Estrella Foothills High School. And she leads this team so far with 58 kills entering the season. The assist went to Izzy Gray on that last play as well. Izzy Gray leads this team. She's a sophomore setter from Erie, Pennsylvania. She averages nearly 5 assists per set. She came into this one with 104 on the season. Defiance has their serve back. And that one's tipped at the net. The point will go to Defiance as it went out of bounds on that one. Kendra Klein will serve here up and over. And couldn't dig that one out on the back end. It'll be a kill for Sydney Kirk. Sydney Kirk, that's her 31st kill of the season. We talked about the staff for Defiance. On the other side for Allegheny, it's Kelly Barzak leading this team in her 7th season. She's actually a native of Warren, Ohio. And she came over to Allegheny after spending 3 seasons at Teal as Defiance with a nice block. Kaylin Wellman was up top. She's a junior, actually from Defiance, Ohio. Here's Bowick once again, and diving to try and get that out of there was Shelby Clements. Couldn't dig it up. And we're tied up here. 6-6 is your score. Again, Defiance started this set off 4-0. Diaz on the defensive end. It looked like there was a miscommunication between Diaz and Akbash, because after that play they had a quick conversation, maybe unsure who was supposed to go for that ball. Akbash seemed to have a better position inside to dig that one out, but instead it goes to Defiance on the other side. Emma Chaffins will have the serve. Akbash underneath that. And popped up by Izzy Gray, and it's tipped up at the net. And they're going to say it's in for Allegheny. Last year was Allegheny's first season. They joined the new conference, the President's Athletic Conference. We mentioned teams like Grove City and Teal College. They were defeated in the PAC tournament last year by Bethany. That's what ended their season. They actually ended their season on 4 straight losses and finished 17-12 with a 7-3 overall record in conference play. So you think about sort of a sour taste in their mouths at the end of that year. You know, 17-8, finishing 17-12, certainly not the way they wanted their season to end up. And have a chance this weekend to sort of change things around. They'll play against, we mentioned, Case Western Reserve, who won their matchup earlier against Averett by a score of 3-0. That'll be Allegheny's next match at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And then they'll take on Averett themselves. Defiance, on the other hand, after this matchup, will take on Mount Union before facing the host school, Case Western Reserve, at 2 p.m. tomorrow. That Mount Union matchup at noon. 10-7 here. Allegheny has started to push themselves into the driver's seat. And a bit of a celebration after the service ace. Alejandra Fernandez with the serve. She's a sophomore from Caguas, Puerto Rico. And for her, that's the 9th service ace of the season. 2 more, so it's now 12-7. And we'll have a timeout here. Defiance will try to regroup. And 12-7 is your score after Defiance came out to a 4-0 lead early. Allegheny on top. Sarzucci bringing you tonight's broadcast. Allegheny taking on Defiance. And Allegheny, the Gators, are on a 5-0 run here after this game was tied up 7-7 just a few moments ago. Two teams that are looking to really spark their season here. Allegheny 3-3 and Defiance 0-4 to start things off. So Alejandra Fernandez keeps her serve here. It's dug out by the libero, Hope Yost. And it looks like that one's too long. It's going to be out. Yep, that flag is up. Hope Yost, another player to watch for Defiance on the defensive end. She leads this team in digs. She's a senior from Perrysburg, Ohio. She's got 37 digs on the year. Another ball goes too long for the Yellow Jackets. And all smiles from Coach Kelly Barzak right now. Mentioned their conference switch last year. So joined the PAC. The year before, they were in the NCAC, the North Coast Athletic Conference, and played a couple other teams in Ohio. So not unfamiliar with coming to this part of town. And suddenly, it's an 8-0 run. Fernandez's serve. That one's too long, and that'll end the run for the Gators. So Defiance will finally get it back. As they'll start to get into their rotation, but Jalen Tomalets has checked into the game, and she leads this team in solo blocks and total blocks on the season. She's wearing number 10 up top. And that one's in. A nice kill that time. As Angelique Boet goes back to serve. Izzy Gray with another assist to her on that last kill. This one's going to end up short. A nice serve, and it'll be a service ace for Boeck. Another timeout's going to be called. Defiance has found themselves in quite a hole. 17-8 here in the first set. Allegheny in control so far. It's a 10-1 run after we started things 7-7. Allegheny has been in control the last few minutes of play. Angelique Boeck with the serve. She had an ace on her last go-around, and this one is sent back. They go for Dagny Javes, and this one will go out of play. So Defiance has it back. We've had 2 timeouts here early as the Yellow Jackets are trying to regroup and set up a play that'll spark them. They started again 4-0, so we'll see if they can get back to that. This one popped over. A nice play from Izzy Gray. But it's sent right back and falls in the middle of that defense. Kayla Bodiger will have the serve. She's a senior from Archbold, Ohio, and her ball goes too long and out of play. So Allegheny will have it back. We're coming off an exciting finish to the earlier game between Case Western Reserve and Averett. The Spartans were up 2-0, and then in the third set fell behind 24-20 before rattling off 6 straight to close things out here at home. As that ball goes into the net. So Allegheny's up 19-10 now. And the Gators and the Spartans will start things off tomorrow That's part of the CWRU Quad. That'll be day 2. Here, the second match of day 1. Sent over by Bodiger, and it's going to go out of play down the right side line on the near side. And that was a nice kill. Jalen Tomelets, we mentioned her moments ago, really makes her money on the defensive side. That'll be her 19th kill of the season. She averages a little more than 1%. Defiance sorting out their rotation here, as Shelby Clements will go back to serve once again. Bowick underneath it. The set from Gray, and it'll come down for Allegheny. Sydney Kirk once again. As Carly Beers will re-enter, along with Leah Ungashik, a senior setter making her first appearance. She'll have the serve here. Allegheny needs 4 more points to close out this first set. Sent over by Murray and dug out nicely by Bowick. That one pops up into the rafters, but comes down. Murray once again will send it back over. Bowick underneath it, and they'll go once again looking for Kirk. It's still alive on the Yellow Jacket side. Murray, Diaz gets underneath it. Now Bowick, they'll have to send it over here. Kirk, they're going to say she caught that one. Double touch, the official ruling. You can see Coach Barzak on that side telling Kirk, you can get under that. No need to go up with 2 open palms. Veronica Vasquez back to serve once again. Diaz underneath it. And it's popped over by Emma Chambers. Murray, that one was tipped up at the net. It looked like it was Carly Beers and Sydney Kirk up front, but it falls. So Defiance trying to storm back here. They're down 8 in the first set. Vasquez once again. Bowick is underneath it. That looked like it hit the corner, and it did. Carly Beers with that left hand found the spot. And a nice job getting the serve back for Allegheny. Daru Akbash will have the serve. It goes into the net. Defiance will get it back as Allegheny is just a few points away from closing out the first set. So some substitutions on the other side. Kaylin Wellman is in the game for Defiance. And it's Kendra Klein with the serve. Bowick, that one got underneath right in front of where Clements was diving to try and dig it out. It was a great spot. And Bowick showing why she leads this team in kills, averaging nearly 3 per set so far this season. Murray now from the right side goes into the net. So it'll be set point for the Gators. JC Diaz will have the serve. She leads this team with 13 service aces. Entering this one, and she gets another one. 14 on the year. And that'll close things out for Allegheny. It looked like she didn't even realize that. But we'll switch sides here. Allegheny takes the first set, 25-14. And they'll be on top 1-0 here in Cleveland, Ohio. Getting set for the second set of play here. Allegheny Gators taking on the Defiance Yellow Jackets here at Case Western Reserve University. Angeli Bawick leads all players with 7 kills so far in this one. And on the other side, Jamia Murray leads for the Yellow Jackets with 3. Izzy Gray also already with 9 assists on the day. Again, came into this one leading her team, averaging, again, nearly 5 assists per set. Kendra Klein on the other side with 6 to lead the Yellow Jackets. First serve is up, and Sydney Kirk tries to poke it back the other way, but it goes into the net, so Defiance will start off this second set on top. They started that first set up 4-0, then Allegheny knotted things up at 7 before really just taking control. They went on a 10-1 run, and we're in the driver's seat the rest of the way. And just looking at the numbers, Allegheny did very well in terms of hitting percentage in that first set. But on the other side, Defiance had 9 attack errors and were actually in the negatives in that department. They average 0.63 on the year, and we're trying to improve on that number. But Allegheny has done a good job defensively so far this season in that department, holding opponents to a 146 hitting percent. The Gators also had 2 service aces to help them out, and Bawick will get credit for another kill. That's her 8th of the day. And they're up to a 346 hitting percentage here early in the second set. Diving Yost tries to pop that one up and over and can't quite do it. So Allegheny takes the lead. JC Diaz on the serve. She's the one who closed out that first set. And she did it with a service ace. Defiance will fire back, and we're trading points here in the second. Courtney Maxwell checks into the game along with Kaylin Wellman, and Maxwell will have the serve for the Yellow Jackets. Bawick is underneath it, and they'll go back in that direction. Instead, they'll tight set it for Javes. And Allegheny doing a great job. When they're able to set up their plays so far, they've been very successful. As Fernandez checks back in this one. Just 5 attack errors for the Gators compared to still 9 for the Yellow Jackets. Murray tries to pop that one up, but Bawick is there defensively to put it right back down. And it's the largest lead of this second set. It's just 2 because we've gone back and forth to start things off. Set going this time for Kaylin Wellman. But Allegheny is on a little 3-0 run here. And that's another attack error for Defiance. This time Wellman. That one's tipped at the net, but it'll fall in. Emma Chaffins will have the serve. Diaz is underneath it. Popped up looking for Bawick once again. But this time Defiance will get it right back, and they've closed the lead down to just one. Another one that's tipped at the net. It'll fall in. The Wick back to serve. Yost pops it up defensively. Then Chaffins helps out to reset that play. This one in front, and it's put down, and a nice job that time from Emma Chambers. And Chambers came into this one leading the team in kills per set. She had 65 overall and just under 3 kills per set. And there's a nice one on the other side from Jalen Tomelets. And she's got herself 3, now 4 on the day. And Yost on the assist. She'll have the serve. We're tied up here after Allegheny took a little bit of a lead there. It was 7-7 in the first set. We're at 7-7 here in this one. Chambers will pop this one over, and it's dug out by Chaffins. Sent back and popped right down by Tomelets. Did she go over the net, though? She did. And she was upset about that because she had a nice play. Instead, Allegheny will get the point. The serve coming over from Javes. This one's sent back the other way, right back to Javes, who digs it out. Yost now to Wellman, who tried to send it over. Block back down. Tomelets pops it up to Javes. Now Gray setting for Kirk, and she finds that back corner. Sydney Kirk now has her 4th kill of the day. And Izzy Gray, who we mentioned early in this game, makes her money getting assists, and now she has 13. Far more than anyone else on her team. JC Diaz and Leah Ungashik with 2 each. But Izzy Gray all season has been the leader in that department, and she has been today as well. Now Izzy Gray gets herself in the scoring department with a kill. She'll go back for the serve. Ellie Belvo pushes it over. Let's pop back up, and this one will go out on the far side as Emma Chambers was trying to put it down for Allegheny. Ellie Belvo is second on this team in kills. This season she's got 30 with about 2.3 per set. Also second on this team, only to Jamia Murray. Gray this time goes for Kirk inside. Yost nearly dug that out. She got under it, but couldn't keep it alive. So Allegheny still holding on to this lead. Akbash will have the serve. It's Clemens to receive it. Now Murray goes for a kill, and it's too tall. Oh, they're going to say it was tipped. So instead of good placement by Murray, it because she'll get the point for that. 12-10 now is your score. Defiance down by just 2. Kirk finds that corner again. That's been the spot she's liked to target so far. Maybe she's found a little bit of a hole in that Defiance defense. But you'll have to check out here as Diaz has the serve. Gray this time goes far side. Bowick, it's blocked but sent back out of play. So Allegheny now up to a 4-point lead. They already lead 1-0. Diving, Akbash gets underneath that. Murray receives it on the other end. And that one's sent out of play. Murray this time pops it over with one hand. On the other side, returned by Beers. They'll go back for Murray. This one blocked. They pop it up into the net. And Allegheny will get that once again. Carly Beers, a first-year player from Warren, Pennsylvania, along with Dagny Javes, a junior from Frederick, Colorado, up top right now for the Gators. And this one by Beers popped in. Looked like it may have been going out, but the Yellow Jackets will keep it in. Yost did well to get underneath that one. Bowick, she pointed to that spot because she knew that was in. Allegheny on a 5-0 run now. And that one's going to fall off the net. And it just popped over, so that's going to be another service ace for JC Diaz. That's her third so far of this one. That 6-0 run will come to an end, however. Courtney Maxwell re-enters the game. She leads this team in assists, entering this one with 7 per set. And 70 overall. But so far today, she has just 2. It's Kendra Klein who's led the Yellow Jackets with 7. Popping back up. Murray gets it to Yost, who pushes it over. Now Gray looking for Bowick once again outside. And the block sends it out of play. So Allegheny closing in on set number 2. Fernandez with the serve. Murray and Yost, it looked like another miscommunication back there. It looked like Murray's the one who got her hands on it, but wasn't in a good position. It sent backwards. Fernandez keeps her serve. This time Murray is under it nicely. This one goes up into the ceiling as Akbash dug it out, and a nice block up that time. Javes will go back with it. Yost, Bowick, Maxwell tried to get under it and nearly keeping it alive for Defiance, but are unable to, so Allegheny has now doubled up on them here in the second set. 22-11 is the score we have here. Fernandez, a line drive that Yost is able to get under. Now she'll pop it over. Gray looks for Bowick once again outside. Now Diaz keeping it alive nicely. Fernandez pushes it to Akbash, and she gets it over. On the other side, it's Wellman who gets a kill of her own. That's the second kill of the day for Kaylin Wellman. Came into this one just under 2% and 26 overall. Emma Chaffins with the serve. Fernandez is there. Gray will go for Bewick. We've seen that a lot tonight, and we've seen Bewick put it down now 14 times. She's got 14 kills through the greater part of 2 sets here. And for Izzy Gray, that's assist number 18. This time Bewick served just a little bit too long. The flag is up. Defiance gets it back. Izzy Gray averaging 9 assists per set today, and came into this match with 104 overall on the season. The serve on the other side too long as well. So Allegheny has set point once again. Taking a moment to get into that rotation. Chloe Dykeman is in the game, and she'll have the serve. She can win set number 2 for Allegheny. Wellman was going for another kill, and it's sent back over by Kirk, who's back in the game. The dig from the Gators too short, so Defiance will stay alive in set 2, at least for one more. Dagny Javes is checking back into the game for the Gators. She's got 5 kills on the game so far, along with 2 digs and 2 block assists. Fernandez is under the serve for the Gators. Bewick, Tomalet's a nice job getting up and putting it back down. Still alive, and JC Diaz tries to dig it out, and it's sent out of play. Ellie Belvo there for the Yellow Jackets. She's another first-year player. We've got a great mix of youth and experience in this matchup here today. She's from Miamisburg, Ohio, and that one's going to be too long off the serve. So Allegheny will take set number 2. It's 2-0. They'll take this one by a score of 25-15. So they'll have a chance to close things out in one more set as we switch back to our original sides here. The Gators looking to close things out on the first day of the CWRU Quad, Case Western Reserve University, on a Friday night. Allegheny Defiance Division III volleyball here at Case Western Reserve University, the home of the Spartans at Horsburgh Gymnasium. The Gators are on top, 2-0 so far over the Yellow Jackets. Angeli Bowick started this game off hot, and she's got 14 kills so far. Dagny Javes has also added 5, along with 3 from Sydney Kirk to lead the Gators. But an even more eye-popping number than any of those might be Izzy Gray's 18 assists so far. And the rest of the assists are really just spread out amongst the rest of the team. Officially now, nobody else on the Gators side with more than 1 except for Izzy Gray. She'll have the serve here to get things started in set number 3, and Allegheny can end tonight's match by winning this set. Belvo pops it up. Then to Emma Chaffins on the other side. Chaffins digs this one out once again. Maxwell goes for Belvo. On the other side, it's Gray who returns it, and JC Diaz couldn't quite get underneath it. And Jalen Tomalets was ready to try and get herself another block. Tomalets has 4 kills on the day. Officially, no blocks for Defiance. And 4 block assists for Allegheny. Serve is going to go out of play. Too long from Shelby Clements. So 2-1 is the score. Defiance has led early in both of the first 2 sets, but Allegheny seems to regroup every time, and Bowick adds to her kill total. She's got now 15 on the day, as Daru Akbash will head back to serve. She leads the team in digs. Actually second on the team, because JC Diaz has 8 on the day. Akbash has 5. Jamia Murray on the outside for Defiance. Bowick returns it right back to her. Murray pops it up, and then Maxwell puts it down on the other side. Now Kirk, and it's tipped at the net, but it'll fall for Allegheny. So it's a 4-2 lead here in the third set. We mentioned Allegheny will take on the hosts tomorrow morning at 10, and the Spartans volleyball team, who won their match earlier, was in attendance until that break between sets number 2 and 3, and they've, for the most part, filed out. But they got a good look at what their matchup tomorrow will look like. And then Defiance will also take on the Spartans later in the day at 2 p.m. But first they'll have Mount Union at noon. Again, both those matches, all those matches, will be right here at Case Western Reserve University this weekend, the CWRU Quad. Now we're knotted up at 4. Maxwell with the set for Wellman, and sent back down. A nice play from Dagny Javes, who leads this team in total blocks. Coming into this one, 2 blocks solo and 10 assists. Gray will set it for Javes. She'll get herself a kill. That's her 3rd of the day. And officially, Javes with a block assist with Bowick just a couple plays ago. We'll have a timeout here as Allegheny has jumped out to a 4-point lead. 3-point lead, excuse me. It's 6-3. So it is 7-3 coming out of this timeout. I misspoke just before that break. We had a little issue with the scoreboard. But we're all set to go here after that kill by Dagny Javes. And JC Diaz will have the serve here for Allegheny. 6 kills on the day now for Javes. She's on the defensive end there. Now Murray. Javes once again, and this time with some help from Carly Beers. Diaz pops it up. Gray, Javes. This one looked like it was tipped. It went out. What's the official ruling? And that is what it is. Tipped, and Allegheny will get the point. 8-3 now. Again, Allegheny's gone on a number of these runs in earlier sets so far today. This one is a 4-0 run. Wellman tries to push it over. This one's going to be out. Allegheny getting the last touch. It looked like Javes was involved once again, along with Angeli Bowek. As the Yellow Jackets in their rotation will make a substitution. Kendra Klein is back in the game. The junior setter from Claypool, Indiana. Bowek is under the serve, and she'll go for it on the offensive side, and it's popped out. Abby Teeters defensively was there for Defiance, but couldn't keep it in play. So Allegheny will have their serve back. Alejandra Fernandez. They'll go for Murray, the Yellow Jackets will, and that one's too strong and went out all the way to that Allegheny bench. 10-4 is now the lead for the Gators here in set number 3. And once again, they've already taken the first 2 sets. The first one by a score of 25-14. The second by 25-15. And they'll get all over this one in a nice celebration over on the sideline there. And Allegheny now up 11-4 as JC Diaz will wipe off that spot here on the court. Izzy Gray and Dagny James involved on the block on that last play. Fernandez keeps her serve. Sending it over to Chaffins in the back line. Murray went for it, but blocked once again. Dagny James having a nice third set here so far. Teeters tries to send it over for Defiance, but a lot of these have been returned well by the Gators so far, especially in this third set, as Murray gets up and puts it down. A nice job as that ball was floating up there for quite a while. So Defiance will get their serve back. Kayla Bodiger will check back into this one. And she'll have the serve from that left side. Gray will set it once again. Bowek, and Belvo this time is underneath it. Now she'll go for it on the offensive end. It's put down by Javes. From the near side this time, it was Teeters. And a long rally here. Tight set that time for Javes. Changing it up, Allegheny went wide a couple times early in that rally. Couldn't find a spot they liked, but inside Dagny Javes was all over it. 7th kill of the game. And for Izzy Gray, her 24th assist so far here. Fernandez to Gray. Now on the near side, Emma Chambers. And a little bit of enthusiasm from her. Chambers second on this team in kills, only to Bewick. Gray will look for her once again on the near side. It looked like it was tipped by that Defiance defense. And Allegheny off to a commanding lead. They're up 10, 15-5 here in the third set. The serve comes from Jane Seth, who's in the game for the first time today. Gray tight once again. Javes just pops this one over. Belvo on the other side, diving. Seth will dig it out. A nice play by her as Diaz gets it back over to the other side. But Abby Teeters manages to put it down for Defiance. So they're still hanging around as Tomalets is back in the game here as well. And Defiance still looking for their first win of the season. And Allegheny trying to bounce back from a 3-1 loss against Grove City just a few days ago. Chloe Dykeman will have the serve. Still up 10, 16-6 now. Pushes it to the back row to Belvo. And her ball goes off the net, but still in play. Chambers into the back row, and Defiance manages to keep it alive. Great play. A couple players running really far back to keep it alive. Chafin's one of them, and she'll send it over now. Chambers, this one again underneath is Bodiger, and Belvo will send it back to Jane Seth. Here's Kirk, who's back in the game, and her ball a little bit too much to handle. Another long rally, but Allegheny wins it. They've been in the driver's seat the majority of this match so far and continue to maintain this lead, which is now up to 18-6. A service ace that time from Chloe Dykeman. Belvo pushes it over. Kirk is there. Now Gray will go for Chambers. Did she get the corner? What a nice spot to find. Great accuracy from Emma Chambers, and she is amped up down on that court. 6'2" senior from Stoutsville, Ohio. A valuable offensive weapon who leads his team in kills per set. And for Chambers, she's now got herself 5 kills on the day. And that last kill as well for Chambers, her 70th of the season. Chambers goes once again and will get it down. A diving Courtney Maxwell wasn't able to get to it. Carly Beers re-enters the game. Serve coming from Ungashik. Tomalets tries to put it down, but Kirk and Beers are all over it. Now Beers putting it back down. And defensively, Allegheny has been so strong in this set, what could be the final set of play. And they're up 21-8. They're trying to close things out before taking on Case Western Reserve University tomorrow morning. Ungashik pops this one up for Kirk. Nicely dug out of there. Belvo goes to the back corner, and a diving Dykeman couldn't get to it. Maddie Mankey will check in the game for the first time for Allegheny. She's a sophomore from Manhasset, New York. But Defiance will have the serve here from Shelby Clements, and it's popped out. A service ace for the Yellow Jackets. And that's the first one of the day for them. Kirk goes up in a miscommunication that time between Mankey and Jane Seth, and two players who haven't played a whole lot in this match here today, getting some experience, but weren't able to make that last play. Allegheny still up 10, however, in this third set. Jamia Murray sends it back the other way. Now Tomalat's trying to get it down. Kirk does well to keep it alive, but Chambers couldn't get to it. She had to go around Kirk, who was just trying to stay away from getting a double touch. So a timeout for Allegheny as Defiance has started to make some things click in this third set. It's 21-12, and Allegheny can close things out with 4 more points. So Defiance with the serve. Shelby Clements will have it, trying to keep the Yellow Jackets alive in a match they're down 2-0 and trail 21-12 here in the third. And that one's going to go out a little too strong from Emma Chambers. Here's what tomorrow's schedule looks like for day 2 of the CWRU Quad. At 10 a.m., it's Case Western Reserve, the host, taking on Allegheny. Again, the Spartans won their match earlier today, as this one goes out of play once again. And then also at 10 a.m. will be Mount Union taking on Averett. Averett was defeated by the Spartans earlier today. Mount Union in their first matchup of the quad in the morning. Then at noon, Averett will take on Allegheny. At the same time, Mount Union will take on Defiance. That'll be their first match of day 2. And then at 2 p.m., Defiance will take on Case Western Reserve. The Spartans actually already played Mount Union a few days ago down in Alliance and were defeated 3-1 in what was their first and so far only loss of the season. That Spartan team is off to a 5-1 record here early in 2023. Defiance has really clawed their way back into this one. It's 22-15 here in the third set. After it looked like Allegheny was going to have things wrapped up, they were off to a 21-8 lead here in set number 3. So a 7-1 run for the Yellow Jackets. Trying to send this one back over. It's number 14, Elizabeth Lubold, who's in the game. Now Murray for the Yellow Jackets, too strong, and Allegheny will have the serve. Once again, they need 2 more points to close things out. JC Diaz, the libero, will re-enter the game. Now Wellman from the bottom of your screen, and Diaz does a nice job to dig it out, but Defiance will get the point either way. They're down just 7 after trailing by as many as 15 in this third set. Sent over. Akbash gets it out, and an early whistle here. As Allegheny will be awarded that point. So it becomes set point and match point. Alejandra Fernandez will have the serve for the Gators. She already has 2 service aces so far today. This one popped straight up in the air, and it may be a third one to end it. Instead, it's sent back over to Fernandez herself. Gray will set it for Javes, and it comes down. The Yellow Jackets not able to find it, so Allegheny will take this final set by a score of 25-16 after winning 25-15 and 25-14 in the previous 2 sets. Once again, the Gators will be in action at 10 a.m. tomorrow, taking on Case Western Reserve University. Defiance won't start until noon, where they'll have a matchup against Mount Union. Defiance will continue to look for the first win of the season, falling to 0-5, and Allegheny back to a winning record, 4-3 now on the season. And a great matchup. Angelique Beweck led all players with 16 kills. Sydney Kirk with 7 for the Gators, and Izzy Gray with 30 total assists to help lead the Gators to victory tonight, 3-0. For everyone here at Case Western Reserve University, I'm Sarazucci. Thank you as always for tuning in to our broadcast, and we hope to see you once again tomorrow morning. All day volleyball here at the CWRU Quad Day 2. Thank you and have a great rest of your night.